Welcome to the full-time FBA Replens Masterclass. We've been really looking forward to jumping into Replens and talking about it because it is the number one sourcing strategy that transformed our Amazon business and helped us actually turn part-time hours into a full-time income selling on Amazon. While we're going through, we're going to have the content time where there's going to be a lot of teaching, a lot of showing you the aspects and how to find replens and what to think about. And then we're going to have Q&A. So if you have any questions as they come up, put those in the chat. There's also a Q&A tab that you can ask your questions there, and you can ask anonymously if you want to. But we'll come back and answer the questions toward the end of the presentation, unless it's something that needs to be answered very quickly to clarify something that I just recently said. One tool that will really help you tonight is this. This is the Replens Masterclass worksheet. It is a simple two-page worksheet that you can fill out as you go along with this masterclass. So go to fulltimefba.com/worksheet. You can download it, print it out real quick. Does not use up a whole lot of ink, but this is going to help you log the information that you're learning tonight so that you remember it. And because if you just assume you're going to remember things, yeah, you might remember some things, but there's going to be other things that you might not remember, and you're going to be like, I wish I wrote it down. So fulltimefba.com/worksheet is the place to go to download this worksheet so that you can play along at home while we are going through this webinar tonight. Replens have been a huge thing that has really helped my Amazon business. I mean, I started off selling on Amazon, and mostly, like many of you, did garage sales or thrifting, and maybe some retail clearance, and just really realized that was not sustainable in the long term. So what I'm going to do, I've got a little PowerPoint presentation to kind of go along with what we're talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Rebecca's going to tell me whether or not it is actually showing you. So I'm getting that spreadsheet going. Rebecca, how does it look on your end?
I can see it.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. So again, welcome to the Full-Time FBA Replens Masterclass. I also want to say I did not have my editor, my proofreader, also known as Rebecca, my wife, double check my spelling or punctuation or anything. So if anything is my fault, anything is messed up, it's my fault. But that's just kind of what's up. So we're gonna jump into this just to make sure that we are all on the same page when it comes to understanding replens. What in the world is a replen? I'm glad you asked. A replen is short for the word replenishable. It's kind of, replenishable. Too many words, too many syllables. Let's shorten it. It's a replen. But basically, a replenishable means, if you look it up in the dictionary, to make full or complete again by supplying what's been used up or is lacking. Like you see this empty glass on the screen. That used to be filled with water, and I drank it all, and now it's empty. But now I need to replenish that empty glass with more water and make it full again by taking care of replenishing what has been used up. Or replenish also means to nourish or become full again. If you're hungry, you need to replenish your stomach with food, with drink, and be able to make sure that you have everything you need for life. Also to make full or complete again, add new stock or supply to. And that is kind of where we zone in on in the reselling world. And if you've been to one of our webinars before where we've talked about replens, you're going to hear a few things tonight that you might have heard before. You're also going to hear some new things as we talk through just the whole idea of replens and how do you actually do this? We're going to walk through things just so you have a really good idea and can actually take away from this class something that you can apply. And so replen. In fact, I want you to write it down in your own words. What would you say is a replen? That's the first part of your worksheet. In your own words, what is a replen? And as you start typing those in, I'd like to ask Rebecca, what are people saying? What is their definitions of replens? You don't need to share their names, but just like what is your definition of a replen? Rebecca, has anyone had a chance to answer that yet?
I think we're still waiting on that. We had an issue with the worksheet. The permissions on it were not open, so people are not getting the worksheet as quickly as we had hoped.
Okay. Is that been solved?
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, we've got something for a definition for a replen, something that people buy again and again. And then we've got something I can source continuously and order unlimited amount of inventory in a timely manner.
Yeah,
So,
those are all really good.
yeah.
So yes, so you definitely have a really good idea of what replen is. Here is the reseller's replen definition. An inventory item that you can easily restock before your item stock level is depleted. It's a place you know where to go to get it. You know where to go to reorder it. You know when your inventory level is starting to get low so that you can go and reorder those items. And man, wouldn't it be awesome to run an Amazon business where you have multiple items that you can go and restock when your inventory starts to sell out, when it starts getting low, and just put in more inventory so you can have more sales. A replen being an item that you can find again and again to sell again and again. And it just really brings a lot of freedom to your Amazon business because you're not always running off trying to find those one-offs. Maybe you find some lotion and there's a certain lotion that you can find again and again that sells again and again. That's awesome. Or maybe there's a toy that you can find again and again that sells again and again. Or maybe a grocery item that you find at a really good price that stays consistently priced low enough to sell on Amazon again and again. Or maybe a clothing or shoes that you sell over and over again. A lot of times, our Amazon businesses, we first get started selling those one-off items, but we never can go and replenish those items. And it really um, hurts us because if you stay stuck in garage sales or thrift stores or clearance aisles, you cannot go back and restock those items. Replens are extremely powerful and can do so much for your Amazon business. I'm going to walk you through real quick how I accidentally discovered replens. Go back in time, back to 2011. That's when I first started selling on Amazon. Here's a picture of me and my four boys. They were little. This was back in 2011. They are now as tall as or taller than me. But in 2011, I started selling in November of 2011 and I started making a full-time income by the time it was 2012. But I was focusing on garage sales, thrift stores, retail clearance, and was doing okay. But man, I just had to always figure out how am I going to find my next group of inventory? How am I going to find my next stuff to send into Amazon? And one of the reasons is I was focusing on the low-hanging fruit. I don't know if you've ever heard of that phrase before, low-hanging fruit. I mean, that's the part of the tree that the fruit is hanging low, so it's really easy to pick. You just like walk up, pick it, low hanging fruit. It's super easy. But if everyone focuses on the low hanging fruit, guess what? It becomes a lot more difficult to find fruit, and you want to find more fruit. And so in 2013, Rebecca and I got married. She became an incredible stepmom and also joined my Amazon business. And oh, Rebecca, look at how dark our hair was back then. Man, my hair our hair is a lot grayer, but we've earned those grays. I just want to say that. So, but 2014, I started to realize this whole strategy of looking at garage sales or thrift stores or clearance aisles, that is not sustainable. It's not sustainable at all. I needed to find a strategy where I can buy items again and again to sell again and again on Amazon. And that's when I accidentally in 2015 discovered replenishables. And here's how I discovered replenishables on accident. I was in a clearance aisle because that's all I did. I was in a clearance aisle. And if you and your number one place to find inventory is a clearance aisle, and you're wondering why is Amazon not working? Why can I not find enough inventory to sell? It's because you're in the clearance aisle, but we're going to help you get out of the clearance aisle and find replens that you can find on a consistent basis. But I was in this clearance aisle, and this clearance aisle was one of my favorite clearance aisles because it had the column, the store column, that had a little price checker on there. And I love the price checkers in clearance aisles because not everything in a clearance aisle is always marked at the right price. Um, like sometimes they might not be have a clearance price on them at all, and I want to double check, is this actually a clearance price or is this still regular price? Or other times, clearance price might be $10 on the sticker, but in the computer, it's actually $5. And at $10, it wasn't profitable for me, but if I double check the price, oh, this is actually $5. It's going to come up at $5 at the register. That's something I want to get. So I was going around and I found this Mickey Mouse plush toy. And I was like, okay, I don't see a clearance price anywhere. And so I scanned it on that little price checker and it said $15.97. And I was like, that does not sound like a clearance price to me. That sounds like a regular price. But I scanned it with my barcode. I took my sourcing app, I scanned it, and I was like, whoa, this is selling on Amazon for $40. And I can buy it for $15.97. And after fees, I can probably make about $10 or so. That's cool. I love that. Maybe 15.97 really was the clearance price. That doesn't sound right. And then I realized, okay, as a father of four kids, I started to realize, I bet there was some mom or dad walking down the regular price toy aisle, and a kid grabbed that Mickey Mouse and was like, I want to get this. And the mom or dad didn't realize the kid grabbed that toy until they were walking down the clearance aisle, looked in the cart and saw, what is this doing here? So they took that item and they're like, no, I'm gonna put this back. Then they just put it back on the shelf. So I decided I'm gonna go double check. I went to the regular price section in the toy section of that Walmart, and I found about seven or eight of those Mickey Mouses. And I was like, whoa. So it really is regular price, $15.97. But wait a minute. It's regular price at $15.97. And I can sell on Amazon for $40. And it shows it sells on Amazon for $40 all the time. And in Q4, it sells for about $50 or $60. And I was like, this is awesome. And I started to realize, man, I could get all seven or eight of those that are on the shelf. And I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There are many Walmarts. So I'm going to go to a couple other Walmarts. And I started going to as many Walmarts as I could to stock up on as many of those Mickey Mouses as possible. And I started to realize, man, I want to find more items like this, regular priced items that are selling for exponentially more on Amazon than they are at regular price. And this is where the mindset comes into play. So many people assume Amazon always has the lowest price. And I would say about 80% of the time they do. But there's that other 20% of the time when no, you can actually buy it at a lower price somewhere locally or online or via wholesale. And you can sell it for more on Amazon. And so I started, instead of looking through that 80% of stuff that that is not going to be profitable. I want to find that 20%, those 20% of items where the items are on Amazon are being sold for 4 to 5 times as much than they are locally at regular price. And so uh, I started looking for those Mickey Mouses everywhere, including this is a picture of me and my family. We live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is in North Texas. My family mostly lives in Houston, Texas, which is about 5 or 6 hours south of here. So we're going down for Thanksgiving. And I asked Rebecca, can we stop in one of these middle of nowhere Walmarts and see if they have any Mickey Mouses? And she was gracious enough. Like we could one stop. We can make one stop. So we stopped, we found stuff, and you can see I circled on the screen all the Mickey Mouses that we found at that store, as well as other things that we found. And so like here's a picture of our minivan. You can see my son Drew in the back seat. He's really proud of himself for being a big helper. And we put all of those stuff from Walmart on top of our luggage and on top of my son's French horn instrument because he wanted to take it down to play his French horn in front of grandma because, grandparents love that kind of stuff. And so it was awesome being able to find that. And I don't know how well you can see, but I love the look on Rebecca's face when she's like, take the picture, get in the car. We still have about another 2.5 hours of driving. But it was exciting. And by the time we got home, we unloaded all the Mickey Mouses because we stopped at that one, we stopped at a few more, and we found all these Mickey Mouses, and we're like, this is awesome. I love this. It was a huge breakthrough, and replens and trying to find more of those revolutionize and transform my success in selling on Amazon because I stopped looking at garage sales and thrift stores. I only source clearance items when I've got extra time. My number one thing when I do retail arbitrage is trying to find replens. My main focus is finding those items that I know beyond of a doubt, that's not a phrase, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they will sell over and over again. I do it via retail arbitrage. I do it via online arbitrage. I do it via wholesale. Those three strategies, I am able to find replens. And now we're able to make a full-time income because we're mostly trying to focus on replens. And now here's a picture of Rebecca and I and the four kids. They're all grown now. The youngest is 18, the oldest is 25. And um so they grew up and I almost want to say our Amazon business grew up too. Because if you are just looking at clearance stuff, I mean, I get it. You're able to find a little bit here and there. But your Amazon business really needs to grow up. It needs to mature. It needs to be more sustainable. And that's what we're going to focus on for the rest of this masterclass. So think about it for yourself. Um, why do replens matter for your Amazon goals? That's the next aspect on the sheet. Why do replens matter for your goals? Um, because they are very important. Being able to find replens from almost any category for almost any size, weight, shape, almost any type of strategy when it comes to retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, or wholesale sourcing. A replen can be anything, really anything. It doesn't mean everything is a replen, but anything can be a replen. And so, why should you focus on replens? Well, maybe for some of these reasons. Maybe these are the reasons that really stand out to you on how replens can help your goals because no more one-off items. Man, wouldn't you rather be able to go into a retail store or an online store and be like, I'm going to get 10 of those, 10 of those, 15 of those, 5 of those, and 25 of those, put it all in the cart, go check out, send it to Amazon, and have it sell. Rather than going to a clearance aisle and scanning so many things, and you're like, oh, great, I found one item I can sell. Or would you rather have one item that you sell like 3 or 4 times a week, which means, 21 to 25 times a month, which potentially means hundreds of time a year. Yeah, that's what I want. And that's what will help your Amazon business finally have a breakthrough. So you don't just find one Pluto plush and make $5. You don't just find one Rice Krispie treat box and make $10. You don't just sell one pair of shoes and make $20. No, you have opportunities to go deep on purchases and have multiple Pluto plushes to be able to have more items to resell because you're going deep and having those multiples in stock. So you got multiple Rice Krispie treat boxes. You've got multiple pairs of shoes, and you're able to have easier profits. So that all those Pluto plushes are multiplying. All those Rice Krispie treats, they're multiplying, and it just helps you have predictable cash flow because you are sourcing replenishable items that you can continually go and restock, and it brings business stability in what is a pretty unstable world right now. Replens can help bring you the kind of stability that you need. Replens are also easy to outsource. We're not going to jump deep into outsourcing right now, but imagine if you know there's these certain stores that have these certain type of replens. You don't even have to tell if you're hiring maybe a trusted person, or you're going through TaskRabbit or any other type of economy type of thing where they can run errands for you. You're like I can just see someone like talking to a friend. What'd you do today? Someone hired me to go to 15 different Walmarts and pick up a bunch of Pluto plushes and Rice Krispie treats. It was weird. They don't know what you're doing, but guess what? You know what you're doing because you found a replan that you can send to Amazon and sell over and over again. And it helps build up long-term success on Amazon. And it is possible because of replenishable inventory. Because I hate to be the one to tell you, one-off sourcing is killing your success. It's killing it. It's almost like it's giving you enough of the proof of concept of reselling that you're like, okay, but it's not enough to really help make a full-time income. So in section two of the Replens worksheet, what frustrates you the most about one-off sourcing right now? Let us know in the comments. What are some of the things that really frustrate you? Is it because those your one-off sourcing is bringing about inconsistent income? Is it because there's too much time wasted sourcing? You know, you're able to maybe find a small handful of things, but you spend hours doing it. Um, or you're like, maybe it's like this is not scalable. It's like I'm able to do okay, I guess. Maybe even not do okay, but man, if I want to grow, I really can't scale this. Or maybe there's something else. Let us know in the comments what are some of the things that are causing you frustration with sourcing one-off inventory. Rebecca, has anyone put anything in the comments yet about what's been their frustrating parts of sourcing one-off items?
Yes, they're starting to come in. So we've got things are gated. One off does not bring predictable income. There's too many competitors, the constant grind. Those are all really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So and a lot of what you just the complaints that you've had, we actually talk about in our Momentum FBA program. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but a lot of those kind of struggles and stuff, we do talk about that. We'll come back around to that, but we're going to continue focusing on replenishable items. And I want to walk you through the four traits for a replen. This is going to be section three of your notes. The four traits of a replen. Um, so the trait number one, consistent sales velocity. This is an item that you know sells consistently, predictably. It's not like something that's going to be maybe a seasonal item that only sells in the spring or no, it's something that sells year round. Now you can have replens that are seasonal that only sell in the spring that you are aware of that you know I just know every spring I sell this stuff and then by the time summer comes starts closing up I realize okay I need to stop sourcing these but if they're going to come back but the best replens are the ones that sell year round. Consistent sales velocity is very important. And I'm going to walk you through very quickly how to kind of know that an item sells consistently. Um, Another consistent thing that you need to have, pricing consistency. You want to make sure that the item's price. Prices go up and down on Amazon all the time. But you want to make sure the items that you're selling are actually going to be priced pretty consistently because if an item is a replan at $30 for you, you want to make sure that item is always selling around at least $30, right? You don't want that item to tank in price and start selling for like $20 or $15. No, it might not be profitable for you anymore. So that pricing consistency helps you realize it is a replan. And then there's the ROI. Um, this is something that is going to be different for everybody because it's different risk tolerance when it comes to replens. Because you definitely need ROI. You need to know you need to have a certain percentage that you're comfortable with. Um, and like 100% ROI is doubling your money. That's 100% ROI. Um, and that would be great to find items. But the cool thing about replens is because there's consistent sales velocity and consistent pricing, then you can actually be a little more comfortable with a lower percentage ROI. And so I don't know if you are aware what your ROI comfort level is or what you usually like to look for, but you can start lowering that comfort level so that you get a little bit more comfortable with lower ROI, knowing the item is going to sell quickly and it's going to sell over and over again. And so, like, Rebecca and I, we've got different ROI comfort levels. Um, Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm good with 30% ROI, and or I'm like, I'm good with 25% ROI. And she's like, no, I want 30% ROI at the least. Um, but guess what? ROI is a lot of people like it when they first get started. They like that percentage higher because it kind of gives you a little more wiggle room in case you make a mistake and you need to lower your price a little bit. Um, but one of the things what we teach in Momentum FBA is how to be able to price an item at a price that you don't need to worry about lowering it dramatically. You might lower it just a little bit, um, but we go into that in Momentum FBA. But having a ROI lowered so that you're still making money because guess what? Yes, I would love everything to double in my money and have 100% ROI, but I would also love having 500 items in stock at 20% ROI because that ROI, it's still a return on investment. It's still making money. And so, I don't know if you want to write the percentage down, what you're comfortable with, but being able to find on consistent basis, if you find something that is consistently priced, then that's most likely going to give you a consistent ROI. And then you want to take a look at making sure that the competition levels are pretty consistent. Um, there's the whole law of supply and demand. If supply goes up and demand does not go up to meet it, then the prices are going to go down. And so if you start seeing, man, there's so many more sellers selling this particular item and they've got multiples in stock, then guess what? The prices are probably going to go down. So you want to have pretty consistent pricing. And one of the ways that you are able to know for sure, and I'm actually going to not, I'm actually going to minimize this, and I'm going to kind of show you. So let's see. Is it still sharing and showing you an Amazon sales page, Rebecca?
Yes.
All right, good. So I have a keep a graph embedded in my Amazon sales page. I also have Rev Seller. Rev Seller is this little box that you see here that kind of does all of the calculations for me. It also tells me if I'm approved to sell it, or I can click links to buy it. Rebecca will put this in the chat. FultonFBA.com/Rev Seller if you're interested in this tool. Um, but but there's also Keepa, FultonFBA.com/Keepa if you're interested in learning more about Keepa and checking it out. But Keepa gives you price history, sales rank history, and competition history of almost every item on Amazon. Now, we're not going to do a full in-depth walkthrough on understanding Keepa and how to find replens, but we'll give you an opportunity to learn that in a moment. But you can kind of see for yourself in this graph, you can see on the right side of the screen, it's the sales rank, 300,000 down to zero. On the left side of the screen, the price, $60 down to zero. And you can see the numbers go up and down. In fact, we're just going to turn off different pieces of information here. All right, this is the sales rank. This is the sales rank over the last 3 months for this particular item. The sales rank has gone up and down a lot, but guess what? It stayed pretty consistent. The sales rank has been around like an average 125, 140,000 sales rank in the toys and games category. So it's been pretty consistent. Let's turn sales rank off. Let's take a look at the buy box. I'm also going to do new third-party FBA. So the new the buy box price has been pretty consistent. Um, over time. And there's been a few times in December, Amazon likes to suppress the buy box, and that's but I'm glad that's over so that a lot of suppressed buy boxes can be opened up. But also they've kind of gone out of stock because down here it's the number of competitors. So you can also see this time there's like one in stock or maybe two competitors in stock, very rarely three. But there's not going to be a price history if an item is out of stock. But you can kind of see for yourself And a very important piece of information that Keepa gives you is if Amazon's in stock or not. And this shaded area shows you the times when Amazon is in stock. So, so much information that you can gain to be able to make a decision. I don't like competing against Amazon. Amazon doesn't like to share the buy box most of the time. So I like to find items that I'm able to sell on Amazon that Amazon is not selling. Um, and so I'm able to cross a lot of things off my list. But you get all that kind of information and it helps you see for yourself. It helps you see what's real, what is actually selling, if there's consistent sales rank, if there is consistent, um, what did I just say? If there is consistent sales velocity, check, that's good. Pricing is consistent, check, good. All right, I'm able to keep my ROI, yep. And the competition's pretty consistent, not too many competitors, check. Okay, great. Then that is a replen. Replens are powerful and um and can be something that can help you finally break free in your Amazon FBA business. So where in the world do you find replens? Where do you find them? Do you find them in a clearance aisle? No, you should know that by now. Garage sales? No, no. Thrift stores? No, no replens there. Estate sales? No, you're not gonna be able to go back. Hey, you have another one of those things that you just sold me last month? No. Sale items. Uh, Sale items might be a replan if it's still profitable at the regular price. So you might be able to find some, but usually you're not able to find them. Liquidation lots. No, you cannot restock. The people are liquidating it. They're trying to get rid of it. Where do you find replans? Here's where you find replans. The two main places to find replans. Number one, anywhere items are being sold at regular price. You can find replens there. Again, not everything sold at regular price can be a replen, no, but that's where you find them. The non-clearance aisles, the regular price aisles. The second place you can find them, direct from wholesale brands. Um, we're going to jump into some more wholesale training coming up in the future, but so we're not going to jump into that right now. But when it comes to replens, items that are found via retail arbitrage, you can find replens, retail arbitrage. Online arbitrage, you can find replens. And wholesale sourcing, like I said before, you can find replens. So let's brainstorm. Let's brainstorm. Do some replen brainstorming. So possible replens. Where are some places that you can find some potential replens? Items you've sold previously. There are items sitting in your Amazon account that you've sold out of that maybe you can go and restock. Maybe you didn't get it at a clearance store. Maybe you didn't get it on a clearance sale. Maybe you didn't get it at a garage sale. Maybe you found it somewhere else and you can go through it. In fact, I want you to go into section 4 of the Replen worksheet. List 3 products that you already sell or have already sold that might be a replen for you. We'll do the research later to go double check it, but think about what are some items that might be replens for you. So you can fill that out on the sheet and go through that. But while we're talking about replens and thinking about previously sold items, there's other places that you can find replens as well. Big box stores. Those are the stores that are super huge and they have got like a million items in them. We're talking about Walmart, we're talking about Target, those the big, huge stores. Niche stores. Maybe you really like going camping and you're like, I totally understand camping stuff. Or maybe you've had a few children lately and you're like, I totally understand the baby world. I'm going to go to Babies R Us or stores like that. Niche stores, you can find replens and that. Like we mentioned before, wholesale sourcing, getting wholesale relationships with certain places, and you're able to sell those items. Maybe you're on a leads list, maybe an online arbitrage leads list. Like we offer OA success leads, and we found replens within our own OA success leads. And so it's possible where, yes, it was an item that was on sale, but guess what? We went and tracked and realized, oh, even at regular price, this item is profitable. and it was good. So maybe a leads list would be something. I mean, get creative, and maybe you'll find even more things that are profitable for you to sell on Amazon when it comes to replens. And so hopefully by now you've already filled out this part of your worksheet where you've thought of three different products and you're able to look up three different sources of where you purchased them from and why it might be a replen. You don't need to go research it right now. You can do that after this webinar is over. But or and you can also kind of go through this exercise too after the webinar if you want to. But thinking of three products that you sell, where you can go and reorder them or go back to the store and pick them up, and why it might be a really good replen. Replens are awesome. Um, so why does not everybody focus on replens? Well, here are the main reasons why most people don't focus on replens. Because clearance items are more fun. I mean, it's easier to find three or four items in a clearance aisle than it is to find replens because replens take a lot of time and a lot of patience. Clearance items, they make you feel good but you only find one or two items and then you sell out and then you have to go find some more. But replens provide consistent inventory. Garage sales give you awesome ROI, like 500% ROI. I love that. I love finding something for like 50 cents at a garage sale that I can sell for 25 bucks. I love that. But you're only getting one item that you're never going to be able to restock. Replens provide consistent inventory that you can build up over time. Low-hanging fruit feels good in the short term, but you're only getting leftover inventory. Replens provide consistent inventory. What is the thing I keep repeating over and over again? Replens provide consistent inventory. And it's time to start moving away from those one-off items and start finding replens. Um, the term low-hanging fruit, everyone assumes the low-hanging fruit looks like this. Look at this tree. It's got so many fruit. I love low-hanging fruit. I love loading up on low-hanging fruit. But guess what? Most of the time, by the time you get there, it's actually almost all gone. And you're lucky if you even find one. And that's not what you want. You want a business focused on the whole dang tree. All of that fruit that can be yours that you can be selling on Amazon. All of that fruit representing inventory that's profitable that you can sell on Amazon. And so it's really good for you to realize this. Yes, replens require more patience because scanning items in an aisle or looking at multiple online arbitrage items, it takes more time and patience up front. But the outcome is gold. It requires a long-term investment when it comes to finding replens, but your effort and your time is rewarded. Replens require hard work, but the hard work is not wasted. It is something that is really, really good. And so I'm I have in section 5 of the worksheet um, what you want to test as a replen. This is something for you to fill out later. An item that you want to either try to go find or replenish, and where you're going to source it at, and then make sure that you're looking at the sales velocity, the price stability, the seller count when it comes to competition. But I really want to help you get the whole tree, the whole dang money tree. We want to have money like it's growing on trees. That would be awesome. Replens is the next best thing to a money tree because like we have inventory items in our stock that we've sold over and over again and restock over and over again for over a decade. In like, yes, yes, a replen that we first found in 2015, we continued to sell through 2025. It is amazing and life-changing. And I want to help you find success with replens. Replens is it is something that is really revolutionizing your Amazon business and can help you finally grow and finally break free and finally get to a place where you're able to experience more freedom because you've got the inventory items that are helping you that are bringing about the what is it? What's the word I'm thinking of? Um, just the type of stock that you have in your inventory, that you're able to really be able to just think about, oh, the time that I spend working on my Amazon business, I'm checking my stock levels, I'm seeing what I'm running low on, and I go and reorder it from the online store or the wholesaler, or I go to my local store and replenish it because it's waiting for me just down the street, where I can go or have someone else do it for us. And so it is the number one best way, especially in 2026, to grow an Amazon business. And before we jump into the Q&A, I just kind of want to pause a second. um, and if you're like most sellers that we talk to, you're probably thinking like one of two things. You might be thinking, okay, this makes sense, but I'm not sure I'm going to actually follow through with that. Or maybe you're like, I've tried replans before, but they never really stuck. And here's what we figured out after working with thousands of Amazon sellers. Most people don't struggle with understanding replens. They don't struggle with understanding like what makes a good replen. They struggle with staying consistent. They struggle with knowing when to restock, and they struggle with having the confidence to scale with the right products. And so replens fail for some people because not because replens don't work, but because the people are not building up the right systems, the support systems and the implementation systems, so that they're able to actually take the right actions on what they're doing. There's no structure, there's no feedback, there's no accountability. And that's why we put together our Momentum FBA program. Momentum FBA, there's a ton of information, but it's not just about giving you more information. It's about helping you apply what you've learned today week after week until it becomes second nature. It helps you with understanding what to buy again, how much to restock, how to turn replens into predictable income instead of just guesswork. And in Momentum FBA, um, um, this is my former youth pastor. I was a I was a youth pastor for about a decade, in my 20s and early 30s, and so I've got three things. They all start with the letter C. But in Momentum FBA, you get the clarity you need of which items to focus on that's going to give you the most capital. The consistency where sourcing doesn't feel chaotic anymore. And then the confidence to actually make the buying decisions and not second guessing yourself on every single buy. And so with Momentum FBA, you get step-by-step replen system. You get live coaching and Q&A. You get a monthly focus every single month of what to do that month of the year. And you get a community of other sellers doing the exact same thing with you. With Momentum FBA, we've got it broken down. The very first week, we drop a brand new mini course every single month during week one. In week two, we have a live coaching call where there's open Q&A, and it's a co-working session where we're working together to implement what you have learned in week one, in the mini course from week one. In week three, there is a monthly focus, walking you through the things that you need to focus on that exact month of the year. And then in week four, we have a growth session giving you the latest updates from Amazon, the things that you need to pivot towards, the things you need to double down on, the things you need to ignore so that you can move. And so you've got a monthly mini course that you can watch on your own. You get a monthly live Q&A co-working session where we're on together doing this together. There is a monthly growth session or monthly focused section where you can watch on your own, and then a monthly growth session where it's also live. So you get two live Q&A calls every month, and yes, a lot of information, but the accountability that you need to actually follow through with it. I will say this though, Momentum FBA is not for everyone. It is not for um, Amazon sellers who are just, kicking the tires and you're not really sure if you're going to follow through with things. No, Momentum FBA is for people who are serious about making Amazon work, that are not satisfied with random results. They are for people who want Amazon to feel more predictable and to actually follow through with what your expectations are. And if you're ready to treat your inventory like a system instead of a gamble, then Momentum FBA is right for you. So if Momentum FBA, if this is clicking for you, we've got a special sale going on right now. If you go to fultonfba.com/momentum, we've got a sale price, and we also have a special bonus for you. In fact, Rebecca, why don't you come on and talk a little bit about our price, the sale price that's going on, and also what the special bonus is. So if you could come on and walk us through that, that would be awesome.
Here I am.
There you are.
So I put the link in the chat for those who are here live, fulltimefba.com/momentum. And right now we have our special sale price for signing up for the membership is $49 for the month. Or if you do the 6-month package, it is $245 for 6 months, and you actually are getting 1 month free when you do that. So I just heard Peter.
I heard it too.
Wow, that was loud. Um, yes, so $49 for 1 month. No contract, cancel anytime membership. It's really low risk. We want people to see what all is in Momentum FBA. And we've got so many really great mini courses for you in there. I was just chatting in the chat privately with one of our Momentum FBA members who's here live tonight, talking about one of the courses that she's wanting to go back and look at. So we've got Restriction Buster mini course, RA mini course, budgeting mini course, OA, and we're just getting started still.
Yeah,
So
and then in the month of January, we did our Replens mini course. And guess what? In the month of February, we're going to continue talking about more Replen uh, training to help equip you and help you grow more Replens consistently and predictably.
yeah, we talked about that in our live session with our Momentum FBA members yesterday. We kind of revealed to them that we're going to keep talking about replens in February because so far we've done a topic each month, a different topic each month, but replens is one that we really want to be the foundation for Amazon business growth in 2026. And so it's that important that we're going to focus on it again next month inside the membership. We have a sprint, a 9-day replan sprint going on right now, in addition to the mini course and the Q&A sessions and all of that we've done. There's a 9-day sprint going on where you get tasks each day for those 9 days and about setting up your replan system so that you get that system in place and it becomes something that you can duplicate, replicate on an ongoing basis. All of that is going to be there inside the Momentum FBA membership. We also have a bonus right now. If you sign up this week, there's a bonus of the Replen Sourcing Hotspots Top 100 PDF. If you're already, I know there's some of you here who are already members, so don't worry, you'll get it too. But it's our list of our top places to find replens that are, get you started with looking and sourcing. I've got the list of questions too that we're about to get into that y'all have been asking, and some of them are related to like, where do I look? What am I looking for? How many do I need? Those type of things. And we've got you. We want to be able to set you up for success right off the bat with sourcing for replens. This is, like Stephen was saying, we're in our full-time FBA taking it seriously era. We're moving past the hustle era. We are full on putting in place systems to scale. This is something we've been doing ourselves for years and we've been perfecting for our own business. And we just have really felt very strongly that the best way for us to help you inside the membership and inside a full-time FBA coaching is to make sure that you're getting those systems in all of that in the taught on a regular basis, that we're giving you the trackers you need, the spreadsheets you need, the SOPs, standard operating procedures, and all of that is there inside the Momentum FBA membership. So again, fulltimefba.com/momentum will take you there. And are you ready, Stephen, for the Q&A?
Yes, I am, and just want to remind everybody that the discounted price for Momentum FPA it's not going to last forever. So you want to make sure that you lock that in, and locking in that's going to be your the price that you lock in is not just for the first month. It's going to be your continually price every single month. So it's like even when the price goes back up, your price is not going to go up, and so it's going to be something that you're going to be able to continue with, and continually you'll have immediate access to months and months of stuff that we've done in the past, and plus everything that we drop in the future. And it's going to be a well-rounded aspect to get your Amazon business going, and some serious momentum, and keep that momentum growing.
Yeah. And one of the best things about keeping your momentum, one of the best ways to keep your momentum going is to take action now. So signing up for that first month of Momentum FBA right now is the best way to take action on what you're learning right now in this masterclass and put it into practice of taking that next step to get serious about building systems.
Yep.
So I'm going to get into the question time now. I'm going to prioritize questions that are related specifically to Replens or to Momentum FBA. I'm not sure that we have any that are not. So, um, if I don't answer your question, you might give me a nudge in the chat. I've been compiling them, and keep the questions coming too. We've still got time, so it's not too late to do your question. You can leave it live. You can leave it anonymous in the Q&A box to be answered live as well. All right, so for Momentum FBA, will it cover how to find replens through Keepa reverse sourcing, leads lists, or other avenues? I'm just curious how thorough the training is, in addition to getting ungated in additional brands and categories.
I mean, I feel like that's two questions, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a question about what is covered in Momentum FBA as far as like how to find replens through Keepa reverse sourcing, leads lists, and other avenues, and then also getting ungated.
Yeah, there will be multiple different types of strategies with finding replens that we're going to be diving into during the month of February. And it's like the January had kind of making sure you understood the basic outlook, and then understanding the Keepa graphs and the other possibilities when it comes to that. In February, we're going to go even deeper with that with different strategies. One of them being the reverse sourcing with the Keepa, um, and the pros and cons for that, as well as some other ones. And so, so you can be on the lookout for that as well. And then, of course, with Momentum FBA, we've got our entire Restriction Buster mini course that was going to help you improve your chances of getting approved to sell more items on Amazon. There is no 100% other than a direct wholesale account with that brand to get approval to sell that brand, but there are many ways that you can increase your chances to get more approvals over time.
I will say too, as far as like using leads list and all of that, we do have within Momentum FBA as well. December was an OA focus, and we talked about leads lists and using those for finding replens.
Mhm.
And we also had, I can't remember if it was December or if it was when it was earlier. We also have a bonus. I will go and look at that while Steven's answering the next question. But there's a bonus session that we did where we showed like a come source with me. I think that
Oh
was for
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
That is in there. So that's Steven working through using Keepa. Like he shares his screen and does some sourcing on the screen. But I will go look at that in a second when Steven's answering the next question.
yeah. And I'll in that I talk through my thought process and take you along for the ride.
Yeah, and there's been several questions about getting ungated, and I did double check that one. August was when we covered the restriction buster. There's our SOPs, our system for getting ungated, the process that we go through on a regular basis in our own business, and that we've been teaching to our coaching clients for a couple of years now. And so that is inside Momentum FBA as well. Okay, how often do you look for more replens? Is it every day? And then how many replens do you typically aim to have at any one time?
I mean, I want to have as many replens as possible. That's what I want. I want. I mean, because I mean, every time you add another replen, it just is able to add another layer of income, another layer of predictability. And so I mean, here's the thing though. A lot of times people hear that and think, oh, I need like 25 to 30 replens. Your Amazon business and your world could change if you just find like five. Just finding five replens could literally change your Amazon world. That's why it's worth the time and energy it takes to find the replens because they are harder to find. But it's not like it's not like trying to go out and find gold and all you got is a pickaxe. No, it's a whole lot easier than that. But it's something for you to be able to work through and start to. So if you start with the goal of trying to find five replens in 6 months, I think that's a good starting point when it comes to that. And because replens, some of them will last a year or two. Some of them will last 5 years. Some of them will last 6 months. We have replans that have lasted us over a decade. And so and we also have ways that we can and we'll jump a little bit into this in February about like if a replan dies off, how to get notified if it's become profitable again. Anyway, we like to call those zombie replans, and I love those a lot because it just sounds cool. But replans, um, being able to find them really just brings that kind of freedom. And I'm starting to space out. Did I miss the first part of the question?
How often do you
Oh,
did you answer?
how often do I do that? Okay.
How often do you
Um,
search for
like
replens?
so like right now, I go out, I guess about every other week for almost for like 6 hours trying to find replens and add some more to any of the replens that we need to restock. So that's kind of where I am now. And so
We're doing RA,
right for doing retail arbitrage. Um,
but we're
and
doing OA more regularly than that.
yes, yeah,
Yeah. So I do mostly online arbitrage and Steven does the retail arbitrage. So he goes out, I would say every 1 or 2 weeks
yep,
looking for replens and restocking our replens. But then we also have stuff that we're working on, doing online arbitrage in the office.
yep.
Um, what parameters do you recommend for when to or not to compete with Amazon?
So there's a way that you can look at a Keepa graph and see if Amazon is sharing the buy box. You can go and look at a Keepa graph and you can see, okay, Amazon's in stock, but you can hover your cursor over the screen and see, oh, but they shared the buy box with a third-party seller. And if Amazon has a consistent history of sharing the buy box with other third-party sellers, then I will compete against Amazon. I will like send in a test run, like 3 or 4 items to test it out and see if it works. And if it still works and I'm still able to get sales, then I'll go out and send some more. But I usually don't like to try to compete against Amazon because the data usually shows me Keep It doesn't share the buy box. They keep it for themselves unless
Amazon.
you're drastically priced a lot lower than Amazon, but then usually it's not profitable for me to be priced that low.
Yeah. Okay, I see Momentum FBA says that it is suitable even for those in the early stage of their Amazon business. Is it suitable for those who have not started selling yet and need guidance getting started?
So there's not a like here's how to start your Amazon business account. But the cool thing about that is Amazon does a really good job itself when you get your account set, to get it set up correctly. And Amazon, there's a thing called Amazon University that kind of
Seller
teaches you
University.
what's that?
Seller University.
Yeah, Seller University that teaches you those kind of basics, and those are really good. So I feel like Amazon can help get you started on the basics, and we will help you focus in on the things that you need to focus on and prioritize within those basics.
Yeah, and we've done individual coaching sessions before too. So if you are in Momentum FBA, you can also get a power hour. Those you should be getting the link for that within Momentum FBA as well when you sign up. A power hour is a time when you can have just a one-on-one session directly talking with Stephen over specifics about your business. So if you're
Yep.
needing help getting things set up, that's a really good way to do that as well. It's we do a really good discount for Momentum FBA members in that. Okay. How much money do you need to get started on sourcing for replens?
I mean, you could get started with just a couple $100. I mean, the the main question though is, you know, not how much money do you need to get started, but how much time do you have to invest when it comes to trying to find the replens? Because if you've only got half an hour once a week, that's not going to be enough time to really try to go out and find replens. You're going to need to have a good, you know, multiple hour block, at least once or twice a week to really go out there. If you have more time to invest in that, then you're going to find things faster. If you've got less time, you have a slower time to find them. But you can get started like just finding one replen and spending $100 on a few items. You can do that pretty easily.
I will say though, if all you have is 30 minutes, I mean, use that 30 minutes to do it.
Yeah, for real.
Um, yeah, there's a lot to be said for making use of the time that you have.
Yes.
So is RA better than OA at discovering replens?
I mean, I would say yes and no. I feel like basically whichever strategy you feel more comfortable with is going to be the one that you're going to probably spend more time on, and it's going to be the one you're going to end up finding more replens on. Like I feel like I find more retail arbitrage replens than Rebecca, and Rebecca finds more online arbitrage replens than I do. And so, I don't feel like one's better than the other, but each of us are built differently. And so whichever one you connect with more might be the one that you're probably going to find more success with.
Yeah, whatever is the type of sourcing that you feel the most comfortable doing on an ongoing basis is going to be the best way for you to find replens.
Yep.
Some person might find, somebody else might find more in the opposite type of sourcing than you, but that doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't the best for you. Somebody had mentioned HEB regional grocery stores earlier. If you've got a store like that people can't find certain products in their part of the country that you can find in your part of the country, then definitely take advantage of those retail arbitrage opportunities. But I do just fine myself with only doing online arbitrage. I really don't do any retail arbitrage right now and love to find replens that way.
Yeah, and another tip, if you find a retail arbitrage replan, go to that store's online website and you can get some there. If you find an online arbitrage item, if you can go to that store's retail in-person store, you can multiply your inventory that way too.
So if I go to an aisle in Target or Walmart and just camp out scanning every item, what is the likelihood I will find a replen? Do you have a sense of a hit percentage, like scan 1,000, find one?
I mean, here's the honest truth. There have been times where I have scanned 1,000 items and have found nothing. And then there's a time where I've scanned 1,000 items and I found 20. And so it really is, sometimes it goes great and sometimes it's cold turkey, nothing. I'm not able to find anything. But over time, when you start finding things and you start stacking them, um, then that's when the breakthrough really happens.
Yeah. Keith says some replens are only found in store and vice versa can only be found online. That's right. That's
Mhm.
what we have found. And, Stephen goes out and finds the ones that can only be found in stores, and I am looking for the ones online.
Yep.
Do consumable products make good replens? Anything can be a good replen. Consumable products are really good replens, but I mean, honestly, we sell toys that are replens. We had for a while, we had a book that was a replen. It was kind of crazy. But yeah, there was a
Yep.
book that we were buying from a store online and selling it on Amazon that we would just, buy them 20 at a time. They would sell out. We'd buy 20 more, send them into Amazon. It was pretty awesome. So any category, if you can find it to restock it, that could be a replan. But consumable products really are good. If you can find a low ranking consumable product that people are loving, that they come back and buy again and again, that's a really great one.
Yeah, that is one area that probably has more replen percentage, consumables just because of the nature of it. People
Yeah.
can't buy it once and enjoy it for life. They're going to consume it in one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah, but the difference between a consumable and a replenishable is that a replen is something that you are selling again and again, not necessarily that one customer is
Yep.
buying again and again.
Yep.
That would be a consumable. I think I have gone through all of, okay, there's one more. I just saw that there was a question that just came in, and then I see that there's one more in the Q&A box. If I have not answered your question yet, give me a nudge. But I think we're getting to the end of what y'all have put in so far. So how many is too many competitors?
So with that, it's going to kind of depend on how close that item's sales rank is to one, which is number one is the best, the lowest number. Because there's going to be some items where it's like, okay, there's 10 competitors, that's too many for that item. And others like that, there's only 10 competitors and because this item sells so much. So it kind of is define the sweet spot. And since every category is different, it's kind of it's there's no like hard set fast rule. Um, but so I like to what I usually like to do is look at a keep a graph. I look at the number of drops on average per month, and drops equate to at least one sale. Drops do not equate to sales. The number of times the sales rank drops means at least one sale. And so I can be like, okay, this item sells at least 30 a month, and there's two competitors. We can, if we're both priced around the same, we can probably expect both to sell 15 items. But if an item only sells, 10 times a month and there's, 80 competitors, that's too many. But if an item sells 40,000 times a month and there's 80 competitors, I'm like, let's all have fun selling this item. And so there's no real easy answer, but just kind of look at the number of competitors and compare it to how close that items is to zero. I like to usually source my items in the top 1 to 3% of the sales rank, taking the average sales rank number over time in the top 1 to 3% for most categories. And that kind of helps me know how fast it's going to sell.
And there's a difference between sellers that are competitively priced and just the overall number of sellers. There could be 50 sellers listed on that have offers for an item, but if only five of them are competitively priced and sharing the buy box, you really only have five sellers that are your competition there, not the 50.
Yep.
So this is the last question that I have, unless anything else comes in. And I like this question. I'm going to answer it myself. So some of the gift card resale sites will give you deals if you buy in bulk. Do you keep track of marginal possible replens where finding a good gift card deal will make that marginal possibility realistic? We don't use that strategy, but if you have things that fall into that category that would qualify for that, then that is definitely a strategy that's worth looking into. I don't, I don't keep a list of items for that, but I do have a list of items that are my online arbitrage replens when certain stores are doing sales. So I know I have a list of items that if it's just full price, there's no sale going on, that's not a good time for me to restock. But if there is a good sale going, and I know those percentages, I keep track of like, okay, what does the coupon code have to be, or what kind of sale has to be going on? What kind of BOGO offer do they have? Then I know, okay, time to go restock. So those aren't ones that I can restock just like any given day of the week, but I can restock them regularly because I know the sales patterns of those stores. So yeah, that's a really good point. If you can keep track of those things as well, it's a different type of it's more like a possible replen or an occasional replen. That's it's definitely a good way to kind of expand your lineup there of what you're able to restock. All right, I think that's everything that was in the Q&A and in the chat. Y'all had some really great questions about replens tonight. This has been a lot of fun going over some of your ideas and your questions. And oh, thank you. I'm glad it was very informative. We're glad for everybody who's been able to be here live. Stephen, what else do you have for us? We also love all the people that are going to be able to watch it on the replay. I know that like sometimes you're not able to make it live. It's always fun to get to interact live, but for those that are in the replay, what up?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to remind everybody the next best step for you to take is to check out fultonfba.com/momentum. Lock in the lowest price that is going to be offered, and be able to lock that in for every month. And guess what? I say lock it in. You can unlock it at any time and get, cancel your membership at any time. But you get immediate access to months and months of things that we've done in the past, things that we're going to be laying out in the future, and help you have a well-rounded Amazon business that's is set up to succeed in 2026. We totally understand selling on Amazon. It's different than it used to be in the past. So if you've tried Amazon in the past and you're like, it didn't really work out well for me, well, guess what? Maybe your systems were not set up the right way. Maybe things were not um, uh, set up in a way that's going to be best for you. This is something that we can do to help you with it. So we're not just dumping a bunch of information in your lap. We're also giving you an opportunity to have live coaching calls and interaction and get your questions answered and figure out exactly what you need to do to focus on, what you need to ignore, and what you can do to really find some really good success. So fultonfba.com/momentum. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We'll see you guys inside Momentum FBA, and we're going to continue having the party there. So we'll see you there. Bye.